going through some ad which had come up. The ad kind of tried to portray that coding is what is technology. So I thought, people who have been in the industry for a long time know that coding is not technology. Coding is just 10% probably of the entire technology box what we talk about, because coding never existed when when humans discovered electricity. Coding never existed when we made cars, when we sent rockets. There was, but it was very small extent, or it was of a different kind. So coding and technology, coding is a very small subset, as I put out in my one of my videos, is just a drop in the ocean of technology. Okay, technology has lot of things. There is mechanical, there is civil, there is electrical, and there is so many other things. Okay, industrial revolution happened years back. There was no coding back then. We built machines that could do human tasks without coding. Okay, so it's just that I just wanted to make it clear. So I will try to bring in some concepts which are beyond coding. Okay, maybe somewhere they use coding, that's a different thing, but it's not. From an IT field, I will try to highlight technologies, okay, which is just beyond coding. I will also try to gather some friends and people whom I know to give some inputs on technologies in their areas. Okay, it could be construction industry, it could be automobile industry, so that you get the entire perspective of coding today, or rather technology for us. For a common man, technology means a mobile or a laptop, or no, that's not technology. Technology is, it's just a small part of technology. Okay, even to run a code you require so much of technology built into your systems. There is a processor, there is a memory, there is hard disk, there are PCI slots, there are USBs. These are not coding based technology. These are actually electronic technologies, electrical technologies, there are mechanical technologies. So it's a wide new technology. Today the world consists, everything for me in the world is technology. Okay, finding out how it rains, how we get lightning, that's also a technology, right? That's basically where we go in deep into physics. Okay, that's also technology. So somebody branding coding as technology, or technology as coding, for me it's quite it's misguiding. Actually it should not be done, but yes, people are, they do anything for marketing purpose. So anyway, so I thought, let's me go beyond coding. So I am going to, let's talk about something new today, which we always use, but we may never go deep into thinking how it works. So the concept is called DNS. What it means, I will come to it later. So let's take these four URLs, what we call facebook.com, google.com, twitter.com, or example.com, for whatever matter it is. So for anybody who, if you ask what is this, they would say these are websites. Correct? Yes, to certain extents they are true, but they are actually what we call as domains. Okay, so facebook.com is a domain. So Facebook can have n number of website within it. Okay, it could be people, like for example drive.google.com, mail.google.com. Okay, so we have n number of things, right? So but it is not actually a single entity. We call them as domain names. Okay, Facebook, Google, Twitter, and example. And why do they exist? They never existed before. Suddenly, in the past two decades it has picked up. It might have existed maybe 3 to 4 decades back. Okay, in certain areas, who developed the concept of DNS and things like that. Okay, we will see why it came and how. I'll try to correlate it with our real life examples. That's always been my endeavor, or to evangelize technology. So let's see what is an address. Let's pick an address of a home. Let's say the house number is 123, some street, some area, some city, some state, and some country. Now let's assume I have a friend here. Okay, I cannot directly contact him because I don't know his phone number. Or it could be those days when We did not have emails or anything. We had to send a post. So what used to happen those days? So let's go like this. So let's assume a person in Belgium. Belgium is a country which is close to my heart because I have worked for clients there for a decade and I have been there for some time. So that's why I took that as an example. There is a start. So let's say somebody in Belgium writes a letter to somebody with this address in, let's say, in India. How does the letter flow? Okay, the first time they don't know their phone numbers, how to contact each other, nothing. All they have is their address. So the pen pals, we used to have pen pals in one of those times when technology was not so advanced. So we will go back. So he will start the letter. So the letter will actually, okay, give me 1 minute. I'll change the pointer so that it's easier. Yes, it starts from here. It goes to the Belgium's post office. They will see that some country is India. So what happens, that will be redirected to India. So when it comes to India, they will look at which state, it hits the state, and then which city, it goes to the city and the area's post office, and then the postman picks it up, goes around in a cycle, okay, and then he hits the street and comes to the house and delivers the letter. Let's assume this person has given his address there, or rather his phone number in that, okay, for convenience purpose. So this is how the entire lookup happens. It will come here. So now he got a letter. He says, hi, I am your friend, this is my phone number, please call me. So now he knows his phone number. He picks up his phone, calls him. So both of them know their phone number. Now phone transactions can happen. Correct. This is a generic flow that happens. Now let's take a state where you don't have to cross international borders. You do it within your own. So it starts from, let's say, some house in state 2. So it goes to state 2. From there it doesn't go to India because the state 2 knows that it is let's assume this is a state Bombay and this is a state Uttar Pradesh and this place is in Uttar Pradesh. So it knows, okay, I have to send it to Uttar Pradesh. It goes to Uttar Pradesh post office. From there it goes to whatever is, let's say Lucknow or something like that, whatever is the city, Allahabad or something, and from there it goes to that area, that street, and this is how it goes. And then once it reaches, phone numbers, for example, are exchanged and it goes. If there is no phone number in olden days, he would probably respond in the same way. It will go in the same way in both the cases. In the above case also, it would probably travel back in the same route as it came. Correct. So now we will come back to our scenario today of today's technology. Okay, so what we have, just like a home address, every machine in this world, maybe a mobile, laptop, even devices like IoT devices, is Internet of Things basically. So they also have addresses. So they interact with each other using an address. Okay, so we have a logical address assigned. They also have a physical address. I will maybe take this IP address as a different concept and take you through the entire stack of addressing and how how a packet from one application flows to your browser and that kind of a thing. But for now, just assume there is an address. So you have a house address. Okay, so similarly you have an IP address. Another thing you might say, yes, but okay, I just forgot to give you one more relevancy of these addresses. So because this IP address for a machine is like a latitude longitude of your home, for example. So just see, I addresses never existed. Nobody had an address. So everybody used to have a latitude and a longitude. How it would be the communication? You write on a letter that somebody belongs to 10 degrees latitude, 15 degrees, 10.00000110. I don't know. It could be n number of decimals to actually pinpoint a house. Okay, so that will become a really difficult state for us to communicate. That is why we came with this concept of address with house number, street, area, city, country, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is similarly we have something in machines which is IP address, which is actually an address which is logically assigned to your device. It could be any device. In today's world, maybe a car which is being monitored by a remote computer might also have an address. Okay, it might be a different kind of name, but there is an address. So similarly, when two computers or anything needs to communicate, they have to have an address to communicate, just like we need. So we have something called as an IP address, okay, which is of the form aaa.bbb.ccc.ddd. There are intricacies inside this. Okay, all that I will tell at this moment of time is there are two versions, v4 and v6. v4 looks similar to what I have written, 0.0.0.0 to 255, 255, 255, 255. So this is the range you can have, but the number of devices actually existing are much beyond this. Okay, so there are two things. Okay, they are actually translated somewhere and they are behind bigger networks, and you get an IP which is, there are private IPs, there are public IPs that are exposed. All those are, I'll not go into that complications, but yeah, there is IPv6 which they came up later so that more devices can be supported. Okay, now what happens is, again, this is like latitude long. I cannot remember the IP address of every server in this world or every website. Okay, and some may keep changing also. So what we did was, we built a system. We, in the sense humans as such, built a system called, where they could translate IP to a name. Okay, similar to translating a latitude, longitude or whatever to an address, an IP to a name, for example. Let's keep it that way. Okay, so that thing we call it as name resolution. Okay, we resolve a name because we are good at remembering names, not remembering numbers which are 12 digits or even more. I think IPv6 is even longer, so it is not easier for us to remember it. So the easier way is, I can correlate some name, yes, I can remember that name. So we call it name resolution. So what is DNS now? DNS is a way where you correlate your domain names to IP addresses. Okay, so IP addresses are related to domain names. Okay, how do we? So facebook.com has a IP address and a domain name. So facebook.com is the domain name, whereas it will have an IP address. How do you find an IP address? Just go to the command prompt of your computer when you are on internet and just type nslookup space google.com. It will give you the IP address of the google.com's IP address. Sometimes it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. It depends. Okay, so it could be multiple names, IP addresses also, or it could be one IP addresses which are in the backend basically sends to multiple servers. It could be anyway, because these websites take a lot of load, so it cannot run ideally on one server. They will have multiple servers between which they will load balance. So first hit goes to the first, second, third, but they all serve the same data. So the backend will be the same, the database will be the same, the data tier will be the same, so that you don't miss any data. Its only thing is the front end will be different. Even the backend could be different, replicating, syncing, all that might be happening, but let's not go to that. So basically, what is DNS? Name resolution, name to IP address. Since we cannot physically remember IP address, we don't use it. Instead we use names. So today IP of Facebook may be A, tomorrow, or a.b.c.t, tomorrow xyz, x.y.w.z something, but the name still remains the same. So that's why we use name resolution. So when we resolve a name at a domain level, it's called domain name resolution. If you have in a LAN, let's say computer within your house, you might have 5 computers, you can do a name resolution at a lower level where every computer's name will have an associated IP, and you can communicate between each other using names as well. Okay, now we will see how DNS works. So it's very similar to the way the example I gave. So let's say there is a browser on start. I'm giving an example of a browser. It could be one application connecting to another, or one device talking to another device. Today, with home automation and all those things, you have devices talking to each other. It always need not involve humans. Okay, so there is, let's say, the URL, you type server1.somedomain.au dot. So here you see dot. So dot is the root domain. Actually speaking, it is the root domain. So what does dot contain? Dot will have all the child domains below it, okay, and its addresses. So there is a com domain. So com domain will have a IP. So IN domain will have a IP. AU domain will have an IP. So it is like, so your DNS is never, we don't normally type, we just say facebook.com, we don't end it with a dot. That's already taken care by your browser and the resolution thing what happens, but ideally this is how it looks. Okay, so first when you hit .au, this guy will send a name resolution request saying that give me the IP of this guy to com. The com guy will say, okay, I don't have him within, he is not a com domain guy, he is a AU domain guy. So he will ask the dot, give me the address of AU domain guy. So the dot will give him AU domain guy's address. So now the AU domain guy will be asked, do you know some domain in your area or in your purview which is there? So he will say, yes, I have other domain and some, oh yes, I have some domain. So this is the IP address of some domain. Correct. So now he will ask some domain, do you have a server 1 in your domain? The server 1 will say yes. Yes. So the server, he will say yes, I have a server 1. Okay, this /app1 I gave for an example. This is not very relevant. In this case, just in case there are two apps running, I could have app1.server1.somedomain.au. That's one way. Or I could also have server1.somedomain.au/app1. Okay, the way but this is not actually a DNS resolution of app1. If it is DNS resolution of app1, it will be app1.server1.somedomain.au. So it will go to AU, some domain, server1, app1. So it reaches here. So from here, this guy, the browser, whoever started the transaction will get the IP address. He would have sent his IP address along with the request. So now this guy knows, okay, there is some guy from start who is requesting my services. So he will give his IP address. And from there on, they talk directly. They no longer use this path. So this is how your DNS works, domain name resolution works. You can have n number of, I've just given 3 domains for example. Today there are a lot of domains like .io, .biz, something like that. So they keep adding more and more, to accommodate more this thing, because otherwise you have a specific A to Z here. Once it is all occupied, what will you do? So it is easier for us to initially when it started, it was all .com. Then every country started their own, like IN, US, AU, something like that. And then within that you could actually have .in might have co. You would have seen some websites will be gov.co.in. So in has a co branch, within branch there is gov. So something like that, just like server1.somedomain.au or app1.server1.somedomain.au, department1.app1.server. So this can go on as so, but the path is similar to the way we work on the addresses. Okay, now I have given an example where a person in already an AU domain is asking for a address of a server 1 in the same domain. Then it need not hit the dot. So here it starts, it goes AU. AU says, hey, hold on, you don't have to go anywhere, I have the addresses. He goes here, then here, and then the cycle is complete. So this is the way this entire thing goes. So once you have the IP addresses, you directly communicate with each other. So that's how it is. So it is just a way to remember easily the name of a particular service that is being provided. Okay, let me put it that way. Instead of, once you know the phone number, initially let's say you want some service, you will ask your friend, his friend, and you reach some person. Once you get his phone number, you no longer require the others, right? Similarly here, and you will cache. Normally we browsers and systems cache the commonly used IP addresses in their, so that they don't have to waste time doing this request. So once next time you do it will directly contact. So the moment you put facebook.com, it will go there. Okay, but it is, let's say tomorrow facebook.com's address changed, IP address actually. So what it will do, it will try to go, there is no response, or it's a wrong IP address, it will not respond, whatever. Then automatically it will then check again, okay, give me the new address. It will go through the entire process, get a new address, store it and work. So this is the concept of DNS. Okay, it is very simple, and it's based on the way a telephone directory works, or the postal system worked earlier. So it's similar to that concept, they have done it, but it's all electronically done. So it's I thought, maybe it's nice to share my experience with working on these technologies. So I will also bring in more, apart from what teach in programming. Okay, because it's the width and breadth and depth is too high, so I will touch upon some of these topics, so that as you go through, you also learn something. It's just like, knowledge is what is shared basically. So I thought, let me share. I will probably share more things as and when we go beyond programming. Okay, for now that's it. Thank you. Please do subscribe so that you keep getting these bits of knowledge now and then again. I will also, as I told you, try to get channels which have technologies highlighting growth of technology in every sector, so that we don't get into the concept of IT is technology or coding is technology, which is totally wrong. Everybody have done their bit to improve human life or the way we live. So everywhere there is technology, and we need to actually appreciate everyone for their contributions that they have done. So yes, until then, until next time, bye.